Beautiful morning we have again, and you are welcome them with their branding. So we'll be looking at the series um how to boost your brand's visibility, right? And we've looked at a couple of things. We've looked at the definition, we looked at the advantages, we've also looked at the disadvantages. So in this episode, I'm going to take you through the various ways you can boost your brand's visibility. There are quite a number of them, so I'll just run you through them. All right, I'll just run you through them. Number one is event partnership and collaboration. It's one of the ways. Event partnership. You can decide to say that as a business, you can decide to reach out to another brand, and the two of you could come together to to do a project or to do an event that that can happen. All right, you could decide to partner with them to host an event. You understand? By so doing, when the sponsorship or the organizers have been mentioned, your brand's name will mention the other brand as well will be mentioned. So that's one of the ways you can boost your brand's visibility. Another way is event sponsorship. You can decide to outrightly sponsor an event, like what some of these brands do, like the brands like MTN, Coca-Cola, and the host of them. All right, you can decide to say, you know what, you can look out for any of this event that's happening, and you decide to tell them, you know what, I am going to be one of the sponsors. All right, one of the sponsors. You can either what they call CSR, your corporate social responsibility. Before is the creation of touch points. Touch points are simply the various means or avenues or mediums or ways through which people get to know about your brand. You could decide to have a lot of them. You could have your website, you decide to have your branded wares, even your letterhead, all of those business communication materials that you have. You could decide to brand your vehicles. I do a whole lot of things that would help increase your brand's visibility. Even your social media, you could decide to be on all of the platforms: Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and a host of them. All right, you can decide to do that. It's also one of the ways. Another way also is by investing in people. Now, what most people don't understand is most people think that you do every other thing, but people are very also important because you can leverage, you can use them as leverage to get certain positions. How do you then invest in people? You could decide, start with your employees. So invest in people. How about invest people who are just coming up? All right, people who have not gotten to your level yet, you could decide to, as part of your own contribution to humanity, you could decide to give them free scholarships and the rest of that. That's also invested in people. Another thing also is actively being active in groups and communities. Most of you belongs to different communities online, but the question is, how active are you on those communities? I remembered a few months, a few years ago, there are some communities I belong to, so I decided that I was going to start doing a sort of business training. All right, I think it was every Monday on a particular group. All right, every Monday I just show up and I do my thing. Guess what? As a result of doing that, people get to connect with me and I get to enjoy patronage by virtue of doing that. So it is amazing. So don't be a dormant, don't be a dormant uh, group member. Don't be a dormant community member. If you're in that community and people still don't know you, then something is not. Then you're not either adding value or you're not being responsible. You're not being a responsible member. You understand? Be an active member. Be actively involved. Be active. Let people get to know you either online or offline. There's no way you should be in a place and people would not know that, hey, you're not saying anything. If they mention your name, people begin to wonder, who is this person? Something is not right. That means you're not visible within that community yet. You understand? And if you're not visible within a community that you belong to, how can the chances of you being visible even to the global world may be very, very slim. All right. So do something about that. Aside that, also attending events is also another way of expanding or boosting your visibility. Attending events. All right. And when you attend events, don't just attend as a dormant participant, be an active participant. Like what I do is most of the events that I attend, most of the events I've attended, right? I make sure I'm either asking question. If a recording is being made, some way, somehow, I'm going to be captured. Why? Because I'm going to make I'm going to make contributions, all right, or I'm going to be asking questions. You understand? Not foolish questions for that matter. You get the idea is that it's my own way of registering my presence. You understand? My own way of registering my presence. And who knows? Who knows, by virtue of the contribution you make or by virtue of the questions you ask, people will get to connect with you and they may give you that opportunity you've always desired to have. That's another thing. Aside that, also taking advantage of seasons to showcase your brand. For example, you have the festive seasons, all right, the different festive seasons, religious seasons, festive seasons, political festive seasons, and the rest of that. Use them to your advantage. Use them to your advantage to showcase what you really have, maybe by giving discounts, all right, by giving free offers and all of the other things. Aside that, also advertising. Learn to advertise. Learn to advertise. The question I want to ask you, talking about advertising, when was the last time you made a post on social media? Let's use social media for starters. When was the last time you made a post about what you do? When was the last time? When was the last time you actually made an offer? When was the last time? You understand? You would think that these things are not important and you should not be weary. Now, here's the thing. That you made an offer yesterday and people just did as if they didn't see you does not mean that some people are not taking notes. I'll say that again. That you made an offer yesterday and people seem as though they are not interested does not mean that somebody's not taking notes. I remember there was a course I eventually bought, all right, but I have been following this person for a couple of years. You understand? Until that opportunity came and I had the funds and I took the course. That is how it is. You understand? So the thing is that as people are taking notes, they may not be readily available to take or may not be they may not have the need rather to take your offer at that moment. But the thing, if you keep showing up, what you are going to what may eventually happen is that they may link you with people who are in need of that thing, or they may make recommendations. Say, there's this person that usually make this offer. I think just check this person out. I think you will like the offer. That is how it works. You understand? Learn to advertise organically and of course via paid means. Then lastly, content creation. And I'm going to dwell here a bit, all right, because I have seen a couple of things that people do online. You understand? And sometimes it breaks my heart that people don't know the power of the content they are either creating or that they are pushing. You understand? If I come on your timeline and what I see are more of tags to people's content, you don't know the sacrilege that you're committing. You don't know the sacrilege you're committing. I'm not saying tags to something bad. If there's something of value that is useful, I don't have a problem with that. But I have a problem with someone who has a business and the person is complaining that they're not making patronage, that they're not making sales. You understand? But when you go on their timeline, they are tagged to all kinds of things to the point that their timeline looks like a playground. Or it looks like a joking center, a center for jokes, where they are tagged to all kinds of skits, comedy skits, and all of those things. I appreciate entertainment. I appreciate the place entertainment has in people's lives. But then, if your timeline or the activities on your wall is more of jokes than your business, then that could be the reason why you're not making sales. People want to deal with people who are a bit more serious. You could have jokes, but have it once in a while. Don't make it the main thing. Like for me, like I told somebody, I said that for me, my wall is very sacred to me. You can't come on my wall and find all kinds of junks on it. You understand? Because whatever it is I'm posting, I have this in mind. Would this be of value to people? You understand? Would this be of value to people? Would this help to project my brand in a good light? You understand? And so, every activity you do counts as far as your brand's visibility is concerned, and as far as the perception is also concerned. As far as your branding is concerned, every activity you put out there, people are taking notes. You understand? And it is helping people to form an opinion about you. If people know that when I come to Simon Matthews' page or wall, for example, I'm going to either be inspired, I'm going to be encouraged, or I'm going to be informed. All right. Or I'm going to find value or find a solution, especially as it relates branding. I'm going to find a solution there. It's better than, if I want to laugh, if you want to have a good laugh, go on this person's page. When you're not a comedian, if you're a comedian, that is different. All right. That is your own area. But you're not a comedian. You're a business person. You're somebody who has products that you want to sell. But what all you're interested in is always sharing skits, comedy skits that make people laugh. That is one. Secondly, I'm also a proponent. I'm also a proponent and a proponent of you having your own originally created content like I'm doing right now. You understand? So by virtue of this show, you have an idea, you know already from the beginning that I'm a business branding coach and consultant. You know that from the beginning. So while I am adding value to you, all right, I'm also projecting myself in the same way and in at the same time. And so, most of these platforms, what they do is that they give preference to originally created content. You understand? Does that mean that you shouldn't share other people's content? That's not the point. The point is, in terms of content creation, what kind of content are you creating? What makes me laugh is that I see people, they are easily distracted. They want to follow trends. In as much as following trend will give you some level of traction, it may end up attracting the wrong set of persons to you. Like some people, they think that, the trend now is to dance. All we should be doing is to dance. Yes, you may engage in that once in a while, but don't make it the major. If you make it the majority of the content you are creating, you are going to be losing people in the process. Because people want to take you a bit more serious. People want to see that, okay, what does this person even offer in the first place? You understand? There's money online, but money cannot be made with nothing. You must have something that you are projecting, that you are presenting, that will help you earn online. I'll help you earn online. You understand? And so you need to begin to take it very seriously. Create a program. I've always mentioned this. Create a program. Create a show around what you do. Create a show around what you do. One of the things I'm very passionate about is about helping business people, all right, as a business branding coach and consultant. So that's one of the reasons why I created Business Sense with Coach Simon, all right, and I'm using this as an avenue to educate, to inform, all right, to inspire, to motivate, all right, to create awareness. You get to train, you get me, to train my audience. And by doing so, I'm adding value to their businesses, and for those who see value in it and who are beginning to see me as an authority on certain subject matters as it relates to their business or their branding, they will begin to reach out to me, and that is how I earn. You understand? So the days of doing things anyhow should be over, especially as it relates to your content creation. So the question is are your content helping to support your business? See, your business should be your primary goal or reason for creating your content. Your business should be your primary reason or goal for creating your content. You understand? So as you create content to inspire people, as you create content to add value to the lives of people, what kind of content are you creating? Because the kind of content that you create the most, or the kind of content that people get to see on your timeline the most, will give them an idea or will form a certain position about you on their minds. That is one. The kind of content you create, your predominant content the content that dominates your wall, or the set of activities that dominates your wall, especially on social media, will determine the kind of the kind of followership that you're going to get. And that's the reason why some people are wondering, oh, I have 10,000, 20,000 followers, but yet I can't, when I put out something serious, people don't take it serious. Why? They won't take it serious because what actually attracted them is all other things except what you are trying to project. And the people make mistakes and say things like, okay, I will just be doing all those other things. Then by the time I gather crowd, I will now begin to become more serious. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Why not from the beginning have a position? Let people know that this is what you stand for. This is your area of focus. You understand? If you have people who are following you from that point, you know that you have genuine and ideal followers. You understand? They may not be the crowd, but they will be loyal to you, and whatever you push out there, they will either patronize you or recommend you to people that will do that for you. And so you need to take the issue of content creation very seriously. So some of the ways that you can start boosting your visibility. There are other ways you can do that research on your own. You understand? I trust that a few things I've shared with you would go a long way to helping you change the game of your visibility for the better. All right. Should you have questions, should you have comments, should you have concerns, all right, about your brand or your branding, feel free to reach out to me. You can do that via inbox, via message, or you can just leave that in the comment section, and as I see them, I will respond to them. Then also feel free to share this with as many that you think that this will be of value to. All right. So I look forward to hearing from you. And I look forward to us doing business together as a branding coach and consultant. So thank you very much for investing this time. And always know that I have your best interests at heart when it comes to your business. And I wish you nothing than the very best in your business. So keep doing business, keep making profits, and most importantly, keep living the limitless life. Simon Matthew is my name. God bless you.